Let's talk about TikTok dropshipping. So I want to talk to you about everything you must know if you want to go into TikTok dropshipping. You want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars selling on TikTok and using the dropshipping method here. So here's the overview I want you to pay attention to. One thing for sure, you got to really understand that when we talk about TikTok dropshipping, you are primarily dealing with an audience that's younger. Okay, so you do not have the strata that you have on other social media like YouTube or Facebook. You have an audience that is very young, and you have an audience that is very dynamic too, very enthusiastic. So every product, every marketing strategy, every branding strategy that you have with TikTok dropshipping must be geared towards an audience that is very young. And the cool thing is that you have to understand that it's all about you having the right product at the right time. And is TikTok a great place to dropship? Yes, of course. Of course. Basically, the app has more than 1 billion monthly active users. 1 billion. 20% of all internet users worldwide have TikTok. TikTok is available in 141 countries as of the time of this show, and 90% of TikTokers use the app daily. So you have an audience that's very active. And so when we talk about TikTok being a great place to dropship, of course. Now, basically, if you want to dropship on TikTok, you basically need to build a TikTok shop and upload your products on TikTok. However, the second method, which is the TikTok shop, is a lot more difficult because unlike Facebook, you cannot create a TikTok shop so easily. They're still working through the ins and outs of the process, and I'm pretty sure 3 months from now, 6 months from now, things will get better. Now, if you choose to build a TikTok shop, you should have at least 1,000 followers before this option even becomes available. Once you meet this requirement and TikTok approves your account, you can now integrate your TikTok shop with Shopify, Ecommerce, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, and so on and so forth. And so TikTok dropshipping simply means that you upload your products in your dropshipping store and then build the social media following on TikTok. It's kind of similar to what you would do on Instagram, where you convince your followers to buy your merch. Okay, nothing really complicated here. But again, remember, the audience we're dealing with on TikTok is a very enthusiastic, dynamic, and young audience. Well, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Let me talk to you about the steps you need to follow if you want to successfully pursue TikTok dropshipping. Okay, first of all, you need to choose a niche or product. So the whole thing is, and going back to what I said earlier, when I said that TikTok's audience is primarily young, you want to make sure that your niche and your product is really in sync with your audience, right? So go for a topic, go for a product that you know your audience will love. And it's really important to really understand that when we talk about niche, we're talking about an area of specialization. For example, sports equipment is a niche. As such, your store will only sell sports equipment and nothing else. It's all about really you specializing. Okay. Now, one thing that scares most dropshippers is that a niche may reduce their opportunities to expand. Now, if you feel the same way, our advice is to choose a broad niche with an option to expand later. For example, you can start with, let's say, men's or women's fashion. As you start, you can focus on selling high-heeled shoes. Later on, you can start adding more products like rubber shoes, flats, blouses, jackets, and so on and so forth. But you gotta really start somewhere. Okay, do not mix, for example, apparel with cosmetics, because you will become a generic women's store, which you do not want to have. Because see, when you become a generic women's store, for instance, you are competing with the biggies of the industry, and you have no chance to actually survive. It's really important to differentiate yourself. It's important to know exactly what you stand for, and you got to communicate with your audience on a daily basis. I mean, basically, people say, well, once a week. No, once a week is too long for TikTok. Daily interaction. That's what really actually brings the bacon home, so to speak. If you want to bring the dropshipping bacon home, you want to interact with your audience on a daily basis. You want to, and this is not very complicated. We're talking about short videos, 30 seconds, 20 seconds videos to actually interact with your audience. This is going to keep your brand in their minds, and you will also keep your brand also relevant. Also, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about TikTok dropshipping. So after choosing a niche or product, you need to create a dropshipping store. Okay. And basically the thing is that there are many store platforms you can use. And let me give you a few of them. You have Shopify, you have WooCommerce, WordPress, you have Wix, you have Weebly, you have Foursquare, you have Amazon. Really, you have a constellation of things. Okay. And so basically our view is that you want to start with the one that's readily available, and that's the most popular one. That's Shopify. Okay, and basically you want to go with the platform that was built originally for e-commerce, and basically you are able to, so everything you need to run and sell an online store is easily accessible. Now, however, they do not offer a free account because the basic plan will cost you somewhere from $20 to $25 per month, and prices will vary according to your region. So if you want to do a TikTok dropshipping, you need to actually account for that cost when it comes to you starting out, because TikTok right now doesn't have I would say the backbone or the back office that can help you that can really help you sell directly to your audience. TikTok is not like Facebook Marketplace. With Facebook Marketplace, you can sell directly to your audience, but on TikTok right now they don't have it. Okay, and so but when we talk about you actually building a dropshipping store, again, make sure that the dropshipping store is really easy to use. You want to think about UX and UI. In other words, when your followers on TikTok, when you direct them to your dropshipping store, things should be really simple. They shouldn't really have to waste time to sort of figure out what to buy, or like the way you lay out your website should be really simple to use. Okay, so simplicity, ease of use, legal matters, and marketing should all come in sync to kind of help you out. Okay, now if you have a great platform already like Shopify, everything's already embedded, everything is already there to kind of help you be like start right off the bat. Same thing for BigCommerce. Same thing for WooCommerce. This is important. Of course, the others are kind of cool too. You have Wix. You have GoDaddy Commerce, right? For instance, you also have Weebly. So you have a lot of players in this field. It's a pretty crowded field though. Now let's talk about TikTok sign up and dropshipping integration. So signing up for a TikTok account is straightforward. The two account options are personal and business. So you want to choose the business account and sign up through TikTok Business. So if you want to really dabble into TikTok dropshipping, you need to have a TikTok business account. It is actually okay if you sign up with a personal account, but like Instagram, you can switch between personal and business accounts in TikTok. However, it's best that you do it right the first time. Okay, so go for a business account. So here I want to share with you, like if you are trying to have a TikTok dropshipping, think about the benefits of having a TikTok business account. So you have access to the music library. This is really good because like the music library on YouTube, all songs here are free from copyright, so that you can actually use them for anything you want on TikTok. It has to be on TikTok though. Once you get out of TikTok, you could be actually liable for copyright infringement. So you have a music library. You have a post scheduler. So basically what happens here is that you can upload posts today and schedule them for release 10 days later. So that schedule is kind of cool because there are certain posts you may not want to post the same day, sort of, handle or manage expectations properly. You also have a link, so you can add your link to your dropshipping store on your TikTok profile. And personal accounts do not have this privilege. You also have email, so you can add your email address for people to see. So again, it's one of those things where you are able to expand your reach through proper communication. And you also have analytics. So like Facebook and Google, you have access to a business analytics page where you can see your growth. You can see how your followers are interacting with your content. So a TikTok business account also allows you to access the Business Creative Hub, which is basically a platform within TikTok that makes it possible for you to create videos, which you can also use for your ads. So once you have a business account, you can apply for a TikTok shop. This is kind of cool. And if this option is not available in your business profile, It simply means you do not qualify. Because remember, basically you need at least 1,000 followers to qualify for the TikTok Shop program. Also, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about TikTok dropshipping. So if you are thinking about TikTok dropshipping, you need to have the right strategy if you really want to succeed the first time around. So when we talk about marketing your TikTok dropshipping products on TikTok, you have a constellation of things to do here. First of all, you might want to consider TikTok ads. And this is actually, based on our research, one of the fastest ways to sell your dropshipping products on TikTok. This is through the ads. So like Facebook, advertising on TikTok is a pretty straightforward activity. And you can actually creating and managing ads on TikTok is easier in our view than on Facebook. The TikTok Ads Manager provides you with a guide step-by-step during the ad creation process. And so the question is, what ads are effective on TikTok? Basically, you must create an ad that looks like it is entertainment content. So if you're not in a position to create something entertaining, you must at least create a video that shows how your product works and what benefits the users will get. So this is kind of important. And one thing you need to understand here is that, so when we talk about advertising, think about entertainment. What about TikTok influencers? So that's the second method by which you can market your dropshipping products on TikTok. Okay, influencers. Now this method, however, is costly though. You have to pay for the services of the influencer and send the influencer a sample of your products. So think of influencers as television models. They have a massive following, and the people who follow them are likely to buy products that the influencer recommended. Now, there is no standard cost for what they charge. Influencers charge money based on their potential reach. An influencer who has, let's say, 1,000 followers, 100,000 followers, will charge less than one who has 1 million followers. It is what it is. And also think about growing your followers on TikTok. You can actually build a brand and a following. You can do this by creating content that people will love to watch. Now, it's really important to understand that this takes more time, but it is actually worth it down the road. Okay, so you can, so basically, depending on your niche, you can actually have you can have a content that revolves around what your target audience will actually consume, but also actually will talk about your brand in a very favorable light. So create and upload videos on TikTok that are either entertaining, amusing, or helpful. Let me talk to you about the pros of dropshipping on TikTok, because if you are going to consider TikTok dropshipping, at least you need to have a clear idea about the pros and cons of this process. One thing we love about TikTok right off the bat is that you have an engaged audience. I think I said this from the very beginning, that on TikTok you have a very engaged, very active, a very enthusiastic, a very dynamic audience, a young audience too. So this is kind of cool. You want to have that. You want to have an engaged audience, okay? They are highly social compared to other platforms. Although Facebook has more users, the demographics are different from TikTok's. TikTok has a younger audience than Facebook. Because of this, they are more likely to respond positively to the content and ads that they see. On Facebook, most people no longer care. They merely look at their feed and move on. So this is what it is. And you also have affordable advertising cost. Some would say that TikTok advertising is expensive because it requires a minimum budget of $20 per day, at least in our experience. However, you should not look at ad cost based on what you pay alone. You have to consider the performance of the ad. So this is what it is. And so those are the pros of a TikTok dropshipping. What about the cons? Well, you do have a limited audience in our view, because the coverage of the platform. If you don't know it yet, TikTok divided its regions, which means you cannot advertise in the US if you're not from the US. So these divisions are a major problem, because if you are from Africa or Asia, you cannot advertise to US customers. Pretty much you can only advertise in neighboring countries. The same rule applies to US TikTokers. Okay, now why is this rule in place? Well, you can blame the politicians. Okay, TikTok is a Chinese company, and certain governments are worried of the Chinese government taking and keeping data. So many governments allow TikTok to operate in their countries, provided that TikTok will operate in the country and keep all servers and data in the same country. So basically, there is an alternative to this though. Basically, you are able to use other platforms to advertise. You also have high competition also on TikTok. Since TikTok is the freshest and hottest social media, expect top competition. Most creative people recently moved to TikTok already, so you already will be competing against them. Remember, your TikTok video is the key to your success, so you want to consistently create valuable content that will increase your follower count, increase engagement, and convince people to take action. Okay, so TikTok is really so hot that even YouTube and Facebook are changing their processes to compete against it. There was a time when YouTube did not allow short videos. Now YouTube has what they call shorts. So this is really, really cool. Now let's talk about advertising on TikTok. See, the thing here is that, when we talk about advertising on TikTok, there are certain formulas you need to follow to make sure you are actually hitting the right processes. First of all, you want to follow the TikTok formats. So TikTok has a different format than other social media. While most share a vertical video, TikTok is widely popular for its video captions and subtitles. The ad only has a 51 likes for, if you actually have a lower number of likes for now, that means what? That you are not really having the right format. Okay, so at the bottom of the video is a call to action, which you must also do if you advertise. Without a CTA, your viewer will think that this is just another video, not a product for sale. The mindset for TikTok video ads is mobile first. Because of this, you want to create a video that serves this principle. One good practice is to use TikTok's video creation kit, which you can find in your own ad account. And you always want to be on top of trends. So trends come and go, and TikTok users easily get tired of old trends. So as an advertiser, if you want to really have success in your dropshipping, you want to catch up with trends to spark interest in your brand and products. So trends are content styles such as interviews with random people, short form learning, shocking videos, user-generated types of content, so UGC, novelty items. Okay, so this is kind of important. And also create ad copy that works hook, body, and close. So this is kind of important. So your ad copy must actually show the problem, exaggerate the problem, offer a solution, and contain a call to action. Why exaggerate? Because basically you're dealing with a younger audience that reacts to emotion. This is kind of important. And what I want to say here is that you want to also be as human as possible, and you want to entertain. TikTok audiences love authenticity. Because of this, they want to see videos or things that happen to normal people, and TikTokers do not want inauthentic content. That's why one of the most popular ad formats on the platform is UGC, so user-generated content. So when advertising on TikTok, don't forget about entertainment value. People on TikTok want something fun and creative. Do not be afraid to try new things. You can be silly, you can be funny, you can connect to real people. It's all about having success for your dropshipping business, by the way. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about TikTok dropshipping. So I'll talk to you about the overview here, the steps you need to really take, the pro tips, the pros and cons of TikTok dropshipping, and also talk to you a little bit about advertising on TikTok. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.